Today, I wanted to start off by sharing a little story with you. It's about my younger brother. My younger brother went through a stage in school where he was definitely considered the bad kid. And we used to seriously wonder, is he gonna be okay? Fast forward 20 years, he's extremely successful. He has really good close friends, and he recently got married. And he's doing pretty well. But my little bro's story is just one outcome. So I got really curious when I stumbled upon a thread on Reddit, which was asking teachers what happened to the bad kids they used to teach. Let's get right into it. The original post says, "Teachers, what happened to the bad kids you had to teach? Have you ever found out what happened to the bad kids, like those got bad grades, kept getting in trouble, etc.? If so, how did they turn out?" One commenter says, "Became a huge success at the top of his field and worth millions. Came back to the school one day and told the teachers, 'Remember how you didn't believe in me and said I'd never amount to anything? You were wrong. I'm just kidding. He's in jail.'" Another commenter, "I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm hoping that I won't be part of a Netflix special in the future." The next comment, "I had a bad kid that I adored. His dad was a known gang member and was in and out of prison. He was funny and pretty good in class. Years later, I see him absolutely bolting through the mall. 'Oh, hey, miss, great to see you.' Ran full speed past me. Mall cop turned the corner shortly after, huffing and puffing, trying to catch up." If you hear that strange noise, it's just my dog who's chewing on a bully stick. Bully stick. Yeah, you get it. Next comment. "They grew up and bought the house next to me. I grew up too and realized they weren't bad to start with. I was just young and dumb. 13-year-old boys are gonna do goofy stuff. Then they grow up." Great. Looking forward to my 3 boys turning 13. Another person comments, "I live in a small town, so keeping track of my former students is not difficult. Some kids turn out great. The kid who threw a book at my head has really gotten his life together and is a youth baseball coach in our town, and I am so proud of him. I have a former student who I was very afraid of, who is now in jail for murder. But I also have kids who were great who turned out bad." Interesting. So basically, we never know which direction they're gonna go to. I wonder what made that kid throw a book at his teacher, though. The next person to comment is a former bad kid. "After seeing the dead ends in my future, I went back and got my diploma, but a lot of knuckle dragging was involved. Afterwards, I was homeless and directionless for a few years, which is the last any of my teachers would ever know about me. They will never know that I went and got my degree and now teach in a class for students with high intensity, challenging behaviors, doing what they did for me." It's also something to note the background of these kids and their life at home. Why are they acting out? But it's strange because, yeah, my little bro was, on the naughty side at one stage, but I was an angel. Okay, I was an angel at school. After school, I had my moments. I think I was a pretty good kid. We had the same parents and the same environment, but my little bro had 2 older sisters. Even though we were in the same environment, our experience must have been super different. Hello. If you're enjoying the video, it would be super wonderful if you could subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Thank you and thank you. Next commenter says, "I had a bad kid in his grade 10 year a couple of years ago. He was in my culinary class where I had a very low tolerance for his idiocy due to safety concerns. He did the bare minimum, scraping by my class, and continued his high school career by not graduating and flunking out in grade 12, which was the end. A year ago, I'm having dinner with my family, and my brother, who's a Red Seal plumber, mentioned his job site got a new plumbing apprentice. Turns out it was this kid. My brother says he's thriving and doing well as a tradesman. I'm paraphrasing, but he told my brother that while he hated my guts for calling him out on his crap, he respected me for actually standing up to him. Turns out he just needed to work with his hands and wasn't so bad after all. Next comment. I'm a former bad kid. I was so disruptive and just never did as I was told. I was excluded from secondary school around 20 times. No one helped me. I had a bad home life and ADHD. I decided I didn't want to end up like my parents, so I went straight to work at 15 and worked my way up. I've done pretty well, make a good living, and own my own home. Only got diagnosed with ADHD when an adult. So proud of this person. That's really good for him or her. Next one. Former bad kid chiming in. I had a very chaotic home life, but didn't want people to know. Alcoholic father and mentally unwell mother. I'm sorry. I bounced around a lot while I was in school. Dad would disappear on benders and mom would throw me out. School wasn't a priority to me at the time. I managed to graduate high school, went traveling, fell in love, and moved to Europe to live with my spouse. Went back to university in my late 20s for business. Realized I genuinely enjoy learning and in particular problem solving. I now work for a top tech company in a senior finance role. But more importantly, I am very happy. I have two wonderful children, a kind partner, and a beautiful, peaceful home. It makes sense to act out when things at home is difficult. I do want to mention here, though, that I don't mean that going through something difficult makes bad behavior okay. I just think understanding where someone's behavior comes from can help us have empathy for them. Like you can understand it and still hold someone accountable for what they did. Next comment. She smashed my door window after being sent to the office. Eventually got pregnant and dropped out. Came back 5 years later in adult ed and was a peach. Having a kid mellowed her out, and living the hard life made her realize she wanted more. Became an A student in my class. See, having kids isn't all bad. Next commenter says, former bad kid here. I was abused and neglected at home. My teachers had to deal with me being unbelievably annoying, skipping class, showing up drunk or high, lying, etc. First of all, I want you all to know that the teachers who showed me any kind of grace were really important and formative to me. I needed adults to say simple things like, I understand you're frustrated. Nobody else had ever recognized and validated my emotions. I had no skills to express myself, and being acknowledged like that slowly taught me how. Additionally, I hated math, but had a math teacher who would sing songs about things like the order of operations. I still sing her songs in my head when I need to work out a math problem. She had no idea that I even liked her, much less that she was the reason I went to school as often as I did. I haven't seen some of these teachers in 20 years. Moral of the story, a lot of kids, even the kids, really do love and miss you when they're grown. We still think about you. We still hope you would be proud of us when we succeed. We also think that you must have been glad to be rid of us and don't remember us at all. Well, despite the odds, I managed to graduate high school. I was homeless, addicted, and dancing at strip clubs for a few years. Realized how important school was to me and felt a sense of loss over no longer growing academically. Saved up, got into AmeriCorps, applied to university. Went in older and wiser than most of my classmates and deeply valued learning for the first time in my life. All thanks to you. That's nice. So right now in Japan on Netflix, there's this TV show called Badly in Love, which is like number one. Basically, it's about all of these Yankees who are on a reality show to find love, and they stay in a like an abandoned school, but it's renovated. And, Yankees have a pretty bad reputation, but you kind of get to know these people and the things that they've gone through in their life and childhood. And some of their stories are chilling. It's so sad. And I know it's a reality show, so I don't know how much truth there is, but yeah, it really makes you think like why did someone become this certain way? And a lot of the time when you actually open your ears and talk to them about it, it's like, yeah, no wonder you were you went through this or that, or you were treated terribly. You must be traumatized. So, yeah, I don't know. This thread made me think of those Yankees. It's a really good reality show. The show sometimes treats some really serious behavior a little too casually, and there is a lot of backlash in Japan actually about this. I can see how that could end up glamorizing that lifestyle, especially for younger viewers. So if you do watch it, I definitely keep that in mind, and understanding someone doesn't mean excusing what they've done. Because honestly, some of the things that these people have done are inexcusable. Let's move on to the next comment. I literally looked up my high school algebra teacher online and emailed her to apologize for the hell I put her through decades ago. She replied, was very kind, but confessed she didn't remember me. Ouch. I'm guessing that's a good thing. There must have been students who were worse than me. There are no bad kids, there are bad parenting and misguided children. I was one of those kids, hated school because I was smart but was having problems in reading. It took till grade 5 for them to figure out I was dyslexic. After that, I ended up in GNT. I had imposter syndrome and got kicked out because I had a chip on my shoulder from teachers treating me like I was stupid and then saying I was gifted and talented. Finished high school by the skin of my teeth. Worked for a few years and then went to art school. Did that for a few years and then, believe it or not, I became a teacher. A teacher that hated school as a kid. I loved teaching and did it for 30 years. Please never call them bad kids. Yeah, that's why we should go like this, bad kids. Next one, 22 felonies for defrauding the very charity that helped his family. He was one of the smartest kids I ever taught, but he was stone cold. Next comment. Had a bad kid that got kicked out of a bunch of different schools. He never gave me any problems behavior-wise. For most of the year, he was either late or didn't come to school at all because he and the person he lived with would smoke so much weed they were dead to the world until well after lunch. Our guidance counselor went above and beyond for him. She would go bang on his door and drive him to school if he answered. She eventually bought him a bike with her own money so he could get to school consistently. Wow. A year after graduating, he shot and killed someone. What? Now he's in jail for a long time. Don't know what to say to that. Like I've read here, my former students run the spectrum of dead jail to turning everything around. My favorites are the ones I run into years later and tell me, I was kinda an asshole in middle school. Yep. Sorry. Yep, buddy, you were. Look at you now, though. I like to think we're all turds at some point in our lives. My mom says that a lot. She always says at some point in someone's life, they will have difficulties. Everyone has ups and downs, which is true, or else you're not real or you're a robot. Which we might have some robots lurking around in the near future. But regarding humans, you'll never get like the perfect person. Does that make sense? Next comment. Former bad kid. I actually had untreated ADHD and no one realized it till I was a senior in high school. I skipped. Didn't do homework, got mouthy when pressed, didn't participate, got thrown out of classes and had to take them in night school in a shitty town a half hour away with a bunch of adults getting their GED. Graduated a year later, tried college and didn't make it a semester. Ended up being a paralegal manager. It was my work study job legal assistant in high school, so I just kept going and worked my way up. And then worked for the federal government for a time. Decided to go back to school at 40 and completely switch careers. I just did an associate's and bachelor's in 2 years. Graduated summa cum laude. I don't know what that is. Oh, summa cum laude is a Latin phrase meaning with highest praise, highest academic honor. Wow. With a 4.0. I am almost through my first master's degree with a 4.225. I won a fellowship last week. I applied for a second master's at an Ivy and have been asked to come back and teach at my current master's program when I'm done. My high school teachers can suck it. Wow, this person is really smart. Next one. Former bad kid turned teacher as well. Oh. With the combination of generational abuse and alcoholism, constant suspension, expulsion, and detention were definitely 100% a segue into my adult experience of early addiction and personal struggles. Walking out of the carnage of what became my daily adult life, I turned into the adult I always needed, and now I specialize in making the problem children feel safe and help them achieve early childhood success as a now teacher myself. It's been a full circle experience and has benefited my life for the better. Good on you. Next one, retired middle school teacher here. Since I live about 2 miles from my old school, I run into former students, both wonderful and wretched, frequently. One of my worst came back to apologize and was working on his degree. Another was on her way to veterinary school. A young couple met in my class, and now we are wonderful parents who read to their kids constantly. As my dad, the principal, God rest his soul, used to say, you never know who your students will grow up to be. A special thanks and a tip of the hat to my colleagues still in the trenches. Thank you for your continued service to our young people, our communities, and our future as species. Yes. Thank you to teachers, definitely. I mean, the good ones. Then there's a reply. Thank you. It's so important that we teach kids that their childhood doesn't define the rest of our lives. Yes. When you're in school, it feels like it's everything, but it really is just a little part of your entire life. Another reply. I used to manage a juvenile justice program, and I had a very intense conversation with a young man one time who said, I'm not a bad kid, I just did bad things. If my teachers would believe me when I say that, I don't think I would struggle with school so much. So thank you, your words matter. So that was the thread for today's video. What did you think about it? I would love to hear your stories as well, whether you were a bad kid or if you are a teacher and you have any stories to share. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video.